ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. We are discussing, we'll start 14th chapter today of Prabhupada Purports. This Prabhupada is also discussing on the same topics. I'll try to add some other topics to it so that it will not be redundant. Same topic we are discussing. I'll try to change the topics today. We'll just read one to purports and then I will add some points which are not discussed. Suta Vacha Samprishyate Dwarakaya Vishnur Didikshaya Gyatum cha Punyashlokasya Krishna cha Vicheshtitam. So the Goswami said Arjuna went to Dwaraka to see Lord Sri Krishna and other friends and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities, purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descends to earth for the protection of the faithful and annihilation of the impious. So, after the battle of Kurukshetra and establishment of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the mission of the Lord was complete. The Pandavas, especially Sri Arjuna, was eternal companion of the Lord. Therefore, Arjuna went to Dwarka to hear from the Lord of his next program of work. Vyatita kati chinmasa tada nayat tato Arjuna dadrsha gora rupani nimittani cha kurudvaha. A few months passed and Arjuna did not return. Maharaj Yudhishthira then began to observe some inauspicious omen which are fearful in themselves. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is infinitely more powerful than the most powerful sun of our experience. Millions and billions of suns are created by him and annihilated by him within his one breathing period. In the material world, the sun is considered to be the source of all productivity and material energy. And only due to the sun can we have the necessities of life. Therefore, during the personal presence of the Lord on the earth, all paraphernalia for our peace and prosperity, especially religion and knowledge, are in full display because of Lord's presence. Just as there is full flood of light in the presence of the glowing sun, Maharaj Yudhishthira observed some disturbances in his kingdom and therefore he became very anxious about Arjuna, who was long absent, and there was also no news about Dwarka's well-being. He suspected the disappearance of Lord Krishna, otherwise there would have been no possibility of fearful omens. Kalasya cha gatim rodram viparyastatru dharminaha papiyasi mninam vartam krodha lopantaratmanam. He saw that the directions of eternal time has changed, and this was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry, and deceitful, and he saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. When civilization is disconnected from the loving relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, symptoms like change of seasons, seasonal regularities, foul means of livelihood, greed, anger, and fraudulence becomes rampant. The change of seasonal regularity refers to one's season's atmosphere becoming manifested in another season. For example, the rainy seasons being transformed to autumn and the fructification of fruits and flowers from one season in another season. A godless man is invariably greedy, angry, and fraudulent. Such a man can earn his livelihood by any means, black or white. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, all the above symptoms were conspicuous by their absence. But Maharaj Yudhishthira was astonished to experience even a slight change in the godly atmosphere of his kingdom. And at once he suspected the disappearance of the Lord. Foul means of livelihood indicates deviation from one's occupational duty. There are prescribed duties for everyone, such as the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But anyone who deviates from his prescribed duties and still declares that he belongs to his original social class is following a foul means of livelihood. A man becomes too greedy for wealth and power, and he has no higher objective in life than, and when he thinks about this earthly life of a few years is all in all, ignorance is the cause of all these anomalies in human society. And to remove this ignorance, especially in this age of degradation, the powerful sun in the shape of Srimad Bhagavatam is there to distribute light. Now, this verse is very important point here that is made. We'll try to discuss few points from this verse. What is this exactly? Actually, there is a shastra called Samudrika uh, Samudrika Shastra they call, where all these auspicious, inauspicious, these things are mentioned. Somebody want they can read and understand. That is a science that is practiced. Now also some people practice it. Now uh, this is the important discussion here is how what is it connected to the occupational duties. That is what I wanted to discuss. How by doing occupational duties properly, of course, that is one point. So here initially what happened is just a little bit about the Naimisharanya sages they were discussing. So little bit about the war was discussed, and then about Kunti Maharani's prayer, then Bhishudev, then Dhritarashtra's living home. And Krishna lives in the year 3102 BC in the month of Magha. That after 36 years of Kurukshetra battle, and it is said that on that after that Yudhishthira Maharaj sees that all the 7 planets are gathered in one constellation, Saptagraha, and it is not very auspicious. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was very sensitive person. You know the scriptures very well. He could immediately feel that something was wrong, and this we can see in other Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Puranas also. We'll see how people are able to identify auspicious and inauspicious, and telling this is Samudrika Shastra. Now, what happened is when Yudhishthir he saw there was absence of Arjuna when he sent him to Dwarka, then so something was very wrong, and so many inauspicious things he will see. Jackals are howling in the daytime. Generally, they have to howl in the night, and there are so many terrible things that are happening. And previously, if anything like this happened, immediately people could understand, "Arey, this is some inauspiciousness." But now, for people in this age, for us, it does not matter only. If rain comes in summer season or in winter season or any other season, nobody minds so much. It's okay. We get it has not bothered anyone. For us, there is no botheration really. We are used to it. And another thing is all these symptoms, the greed, anger, deceit, all these things that are mentioned were not present only. Yudhishthira was surprised that how is this present? And Prabhupada writing, there was only small signs of this, just some indication. He saw one man became greedy, 2 people are becoming angry, and 3 people are lying. That much only his, it's very small things only could immediately understand. And that was only surprising to him. Nowadays, everybody is like that only. It is not at all surprising. We live in a period when all these things have become a norm. It's a principle. If somebody is lying, nobody minds it. It is not surprising anyone. Now, this actually, Kali Yuga has surpassed all the predictions that are given in the scriptures and what is history saying. And people are not afraid of any level of degradation. And we cannot mention only what level of degradation in terms of food, what all things they eat and all. Anyway, but if one takes little sober look, then he can immediately understand, oh, these things are very bad. Yeah, more dependence on artificial means of sustenance. Yeah, that is true. And this is people lost ability to see a little future. Then what is there in front of their nose? And but this is what is the problem that is happening. So people don't understand that everything has already come to very bad state. It is very difficult for people understanding. Now, what Markandeya Rishi also speaks about these symptoms in Mahabharata when he comes to meet the Pandavas. He also explains what are the means, and they say that if the king is ruling very nicely, Good governance means everything is in order only. In Lord Ramchandra's kingdom, if somebody don't want today, he would not have died. He says, okay, I want today, then only he will die. That means he can live whatever he wants. That may it was death was not a problem only because the rule, the real ruler, he actually who claims such principles. And same thing, how now I was talking about what type of why people are deceitful, why they are not deceitful in previous ages. If we understand, it's very important. See how it is said that cows are happy in Yudhishthira's Maharaj's kingdom, they are moistening everything and they are very happy. And when people are doing the job according to their nature, then they are happy. And since they are satisfied and happy, they will not, no need to restore for all these means, methods of greed. They are not, because they are happy. They need not lie, they need not become angry, and their hearts are completely satisfied because they have everything they needed. They have happiness. But in Kali Yuga, people, the main quality of the Kali Yuga, everything is poisoned. The whole atmosphere is poisoned. Minds are poisoned. Atmosphere in terms of water, air, land, everything is poisoned. Why? The atmosphere is poisoned and food is also poison. Poison means in the terms of the consciousness, air pollution. A relationship between people is also poison. All this poison the human mind. The and since the human mind is poisoned, and accordingly it contaminates everything because it started from the mind. If you have if mind is agitated all the time, mind is unhappy all the time, that is the natural consequences. And this is the caste of everyone. The contaminated mind. This is the epidemic of madness. And now we see that people were happy, they were satisfied. Now what happened is we all have mobiles. Maybe within this class while speaking only, I touched the mobile 3 times. So means we have become happier from this. No, with mobile. Mobile is a way to excite our mind even more, to deprive people of peace even more. And people get excited for any reason. And for and that is the problem. Nowadays, people fight so much. In the house, for every small reason, there is a fight. On the road, people fight. For everything, people are yelling, shouting, because mind is agitated. Relationship between people, it's all poisoning human mind. And now this is, and people think it's all normal. That is another problem. So here Vyasdev, he gives the situations of Kali Yuga. So I told the three themes will always continue in Bhagavatam. One is about the three important topics is the conversation of Sita Goswami Savanaka Drishis and how did Bhagavatam appear. That is the first theme. Second theme is qualification to hear Bhagavatam. So how Bhagavatam appeared, that is first theme. Second is about Parikshit Maharaj, who is a qualification for hearing Bhagavatam. And the third important thing is symptoms of Kali Yuga. So these are the three important topics of first canto Bhagavatam. So here again we'll see some of the symptom of uh, what I want to tell is that uh, mind, if mind is agitated, then it is aroused, it really can't do anything. And this is the symptom of Kali Yuga people. Because to sit for some time and chant, it becomes very difficult for people for long time. Of course, now we are able to sit and chant 2 hours continuously. From the beginning, it is for some people it is possible, but some people mind is so much struggling, running here, there, and everywhere, don't know where, because people have invented so many things. Of course, people also do walking meditation, running meditation, because mind is agitated. When mind is everything is mind is completely in ignorance. It's sleeping. Anyway, so this is one of the points I want to tell is, if work what people are doing, the food they are eating, it is offered to Krishna and then it is pure, then it is possible for them to overcome many of the things. That is the reason people had so much tremendous mental power. They used to, people, they by heart, there were people who know all the 18,000 shlokas of Bhagavatam by heart. Some people know even Mahabharata by heart, all the shlokas. There were people just few 100 years back, that's all, not much old also. Because their mind was very focused. It was so easy for them. Of course, even childhood, I remember, I learned many of in South India, they learn all the Vishnu Sahasranamas and Vedas, mantras. They just know like that for hundreds of shlokas. Of course, now for Bhakti Shastri, if you know few 10-20 shlokas, then you are Bhakti Shastri. But previously, not only just knowing, but they know the meaning and everything. Now, another important point is that this is the pure state of mind which previously had. And Prabhupada explaining that people forget for what they had to live in Kali Yuga. And but it is said that 5,000 years back, Pandavas, when they could not even imagine that what would happen. So, and it is like, I'll just tell about the occupation. If you see the Brahmanas, they are actually doing it in a wrong way. That is the problem. They're not understanding that even the cannot they should not make money with their profession. They are doing wrong. That's why they're unhappy. Everybody is unhappy like that. Brahmanas in Kali Yuga will be engaged in the activities of Shudras, and Shudras will perform the duties of Brahmanas. And now, because of reservations, the intelligent people don't get into colleges, and then it will be more problem. They actually, it should not be according to the caste, it should be according to the intelligence. Whoever is intelligent, they should be given such education. But now, because this is the problem more than um, and another is what type of professions they are doing, what type of activities they are doing. That is very problematic. Like Brahmanas, if you see, they are just in some temples, they say we are Brahmanas, give some donation. And if they take money from wrong people, their mind is contaminated. In contaminated mind, everything is contaminated only. And this is the problem. Kali Yuga, we should not take unqualified person, we should not take money. What happens is we will be obliged. Obligation will be there. And Kauravas actually didn't had all bad habits. Kauravas had good habits only. But they did something wrong, because even if you see this people, Vedic culture, even Dhritarashtra, if you see, because he followed Vedic culture properly, within 5 days he could concentrate and get out of this metal world. Can tell how many people in Kali Yuga within 5 days, most pious person, in 5 days he will concentrate and he will attain his desired goal. It is not possible. They lived like that. That's why Duryodhana, he is a Kshatriya. If somebody gives a word, even Arjuna comes and says, Duryodhana gave a word to Arjuna. You ask something, I'll give you. And Arjuna goes and says, I want something now. Duryodhana says, you want the kingdom, I'll give it. That means he's following Vedic culture. Duryodhana had that level also. If Arjuna said, give me kingdom, Duryodhana will give because he gave the word. They are Kshatriyas. They are not like ordinary people now. They had they had this bad mentality, but not like Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga people is more degraded. They were very powerful people. Duryodhana is very powerful personality. He is able to fight with Bhima. He is very skillful. That means how he get this power, it's not just physical power. They need to have mental power also. And Duryodhana was such a qualified leader, Kshatriya. What is the important quality of Kshatriya is that people can trust them. They will give their life for for their word. If a Kshatriya gives a word, he can give life for him. That's why people go with Kshatriyas. Okay, this person, even at any cost, he will protect me. That is the main thing. That's why if Kshatriya breaks the word, then he is no more a Kshatriya. For him, it's the greatest dishonor. Uh, People, they know, okay, I can be under his protection. Even he dies also, he will make sure that I'll be protected. That is the reason people followed Kshatriyas. It is not by democracy. It is because they had that full faith on the personality. That is the most important. Even Duryodhana or any of the Kauravas also, they were all Kshatriyas only. They were all having that. They did not run away from battlefield. They were ready to die on the battlefield. They know, like all the other brothers of Duryodhana know, if we fight with Bhima, we'll die. But they did not run away. They will not fight with Bhima. No, it didn't happen. They fight with Bhima and they know Bhima is going to kill and they were ready, okay. Because they are Kshatriyas. It's all like that. Only one person who ran away is Ashwatthama. Apart from that, all were nobody did anything against Kshatriya rule. Only person who did wrong was Ashwatthama. He in the dead of the night he is killing some children. That's why Krishna cursed him. Otherwise, Duryodhana, none of them. Of course, there was some cheating happened here there, but otherwise, it's all almost all had Kshatriya spirits. That they lived a very they know their strength comes in piety. They know their strength comes in following the rules and regulations. They know their strength comes in charity. They know strength comes sacrifice. All the Vedic culture people, they know this. And they used to gain strength like that only by giving charity, doing sacrifices, doing all this following rules. They used to gain power like that. So question is, even though the Kauravas following activities as per their nature, so they should be satisfied with what they did. So how come they develop such greed to take the kingdom of Pandava? Yeah, that is the point. They because Duryodhana is the personification of some Amsha of Kali, and he is meant to develop. This weakness is there for everyone. And what is the difference is what association you take. Karna had weakness, but he chose the association of Duryodhana instead of Krishna. There the point comes. Everybody has weakness. Dhritarashtra had weakness. Duryodhana had weakness, and other personalities had weakness, but they chose wrong association. Even Arjuna had weakness. Bhima also is also very envious of Duryodhana, but he chose a right association and then you can overcome your weakness. If you don't choose, then you will be trapped. This is actually what happened to Karna or any of the. He chose all the wrong association. And even if right association, right instructions are given, it could not go. So this is not just this happens all the time, and it is not just one level. Madhvacharya says, no, we should see it at three levels. And another important thing is here Panda was explaining there are always these negative forces in the creation. There is always fight between them. So this is another level of understanding. The first level is directly seeing the story, understanding. Second level understanding is all these persons whom we are seeing in Mahabharata, they're personification of that type of qualities, like Kali, like Ashwatthama, we were discussing how he is a person. He's a Amsha of Kamadev, Rudra, and Yama. Now, these are the forces that fight among themselves in the creation. And even Asuras also, when they came to know that Indra insulted Brahaspati, immediately all the Asuras they started worshipping Shukracharya. They know how to gain power. This is the way they know. You want to gain power, you worship your Guru nicely every day, do Guru Puja, and then every day you serve him nicely, get his blessings, and that's all. You are powerful. Go and defeat your enemy and enjoy. They know this principle very nicely, even though the purpose of doing is wrong. So they were doing their activities, but they had a wrong purpose. And these tendencies are constantly there in him. Not that Kshatriyas are not greedy, but they keep right association, they can overcome it. But it did not happen with Kaura. So this is a lesson we need to learn. If you want to overcome your bad qualities, keep right association. And even though you may be satisfied with your work, but that greed mentality will not go so easily, and it will retain, and it may trouble you, and it may help make you do all these wrong things which are happening with Kauravas. It's clear, Mataji? Yeah. So this is some more things are there. We'll just read purpose. Yeah. Jiham prayam yavahatam. Yes, Sachitan. Dandatam.
Usually that last part, there is one liner. The man becomes too greedy for wealth and power, and he has no higher objective in life. When he thinks that his early life is few years in at all. Prabhupada has mentioned.
Uh,
So yeah, so the point here will be, despite of knowing the fact that we have received some higher objective, still there is no focus. There is no uh, focus toward the goal. We tend to get distracted many times.
yeah.
So this is very important point. We are pointing about others, but what about those who received the higher good? So for them also, the association is so important. So I'm saying ki, and when we start finding faults in association, we lose the association and there is no focus. So there is no uh, perseverance towards the goal, like Tivrena Bhakti Yoga. There is no. So how to bring that in actually? Because this is where we have to churn our consciousness. Where Prabhupada is mentioning that we are again following the same thing what other materialistic people, they don't have goal and we have goal. That is the only difference.
Yeah. So this is a very important point. This is actually the Vedic civilization. It is based on this principle that how a person needs to be focused in his life. I will explain how our mind has different states. Like one principle that everyone can, there is one thing that everybody can develop in himself through right association. This is the story which we heard from the previous chapter of the Drashtra, that no matter how much a person leads a life, but as soon he can go down to a lowest level, but he can rise and become very focused with the help of right association. And this I explained also previously how our karma, two things cannot be changed, but one thing can be changed with our karma is the by association. What comes from previous life, what we have gained for first 4 years of our life, but now our mind, it is in a four states: Kshipta, Muda, Vikshipta, Ekakrata, Niruddha. This is initially we are in very passionate state where Kshipta is, it's very ignorant, we can say it's dumb. And slowly we have to gain more. When we come to level of more Sattva, then it is then it is possible for us to focus. Otherwise, what happens is we cannot concentrate on anything. Little bit for a split of second also the concentrate. The focus on the goal is not there. This is actually chastity. When you say chastity, what is chastity? Even for a woman or a man, there should be chastity. Chastity is what is able to, because the soul's energy comes, it is given to the mind, and the mind, it gives to the body. But now what is happening? The mind's energy is dissipated. We are not able to concentrate. We are not, the purpose, if goal is very clear, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, one pointed attention, then only it is happening. So for us, any small thing, after some time we become bored. Sit for some time in class, it is boring. Sit for something, immediately become bored. Then he cannot concentrate. Uh, then we have thousands of things. We are bored. And uh, uh, so in a concentrated uh, state, he is simply wasting. If we are not dissipated, then we are wasting all our energy. Because the best way to waste all energy is not focus on anything. Goal is not there. That is the problem. And when he get tired of jumping from here, there, and all these things, this is the state of Kshipta. Then there is Muda, and where it is Tamoguna little mixed with Rajoguna. This is little better. At least he is acting something. Because in Tamoguna, a person only sleeps. He is very dull. And Rajoguna states, when Rajoguna attracts, then he appears some kind of goal is there. But here in Rajoguna, what happens is obsessed. It is not like Sattoguna goal. So there is a difference. So in Muda state is there is a goal, but it's an obsession. I want to become Karodpati, 10 Karodpati. I want to make my business into 10 crores turnover, 20 crores turnover. So this is actually obsession. Uh, this goal is not the one which one should strive for. So then there is Vikshipta. There is some kind of hope in man. Is simply obsessed in Rajoguna, yes, some glimmer hope, because this is the obsession state. And his uh, means it looks like concentration, but we should not be confused. Uh, it is not a state of concentration, real concentration. What happens is he will be jumping from one goal to another with obsession. His energy is not actually properly utilized. When he does not waste energy on anything else, and he is practicing yoga, then there comes the ekagrata stage, then it is possible. So when we are sitting in the morning for chanting, we should keep it as a concentration. I want to see Krishna. I want to develop relation with Krishna. With that as the goal, we should sit and chant. I cannot go to Himalayas and sit and do this meditation. As such, I am supposed to go to Himalayas and do. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave concession for me. He said, sit at home and do. But it does not anyway minimize the effort. We should know that I want to go to Himalayas and do meditation, but here only I am doing. Some concession is given. So let me at least know that I want to achieve how much they are determined. We should be equally determined here, knowing this. And it all happens with the association. Uh, and ekagrata means only one thought. And this is uh, in Chitta says mind is like a monkey. So, and then of course, then there is the ultimate person control is at the Niruddha state and all. Now, what I was trying to tell is that if you see the Vedic people, Gandhari, how much is focused? Who woman will do that? She is just focused on her husband. That's all. Husband is not seeing. Let me close my eyes. And she did not in between peep and see, okay, what everything is going on around. What is happening in the latest TV series and no web series. She's not even seeing. She's not even ready to see the children also. She had so much love and care, but she want to. Her focus on her husband is so great. That's why when Dhritarashtra left with full satisfaction, she entered into the fire. That's all. That was her focus, and she also attained liberation. This is actually Vedic culture. They have this focus, concentration. They are very chaste. Everybody. Anyway, uh, it all comes with association. That is the point. Uh, SH Pranto is okay. I just added for your comments. Okay. So all the ordinary transactions and dealing became polluted with cheating, and even between friends and in family affairs there was always misunderstanding between fathers, mothers, and sons, between well-wishers and twin brothers, even between husband and wife. There are always strain and quarrel. This is Yudhishthira might have seen one, two such examples, and he is really concerned. But if it didn't happen, we will be concerned. If they don't fight, we'll think why they are not fighting. The conditioned living being is endowed with four principles of malpractice, namely error, insanity, inability, and cheating. It is signs of imperfection, and out of the four, propensity to cheat others is most prominent. This cheating practice is there in the conditions because they are in material world, primarily due to their being embedded with an unnatural desire to lord it over material world. A living being in his pure state is not conditioned by the laws of material nature because in his pure state he is conscious that a living being is eternal, is subservient to the supreme being, and that it is always good for him to remain subservient instead of falsely trying to lord it over the property of the supreme lord. In conditioned state, the living being is not satisfied even if he actually becomes the lord of all that he survives, which he never becomes, and therefore he becomes the victim of all kinds of cheating, even by his nearest and most intimate relationship. In such unsatisfactory state of affairs, there is no harmony even between father and sons or between husband and wife. But all these contending difficulties can be mitigated by one process, and that is the devotional service of the Lord. The world of hypocrisy can be checked only by concentration through devotional service to the Lord and nothing else. Maharishtra, having observed the disparities, conjectured the disappearance of Lord from the earth. Now, this is about cheating. We can take one full class. What all cheating happens in the world. But the main point here is even actually devotees also sometimes they had this financial dealings with each other. They also cheat. Don't think because they have become devotee, they will not cheat. We have to be careful in that regard also. We will see some devotee cheated, this devotee cheated, that devotee. So this, when money comes, Kali Yuga mentality comes, then everything is normal only. We should be very careful because they have started practicing Krishna consciousness, but they have not completely achieved perfection. So that's why the cheating is there everywhere. You have to be very careful, and even among wife and husband, husband is killing wife, wife is killing husband, children are killing their relatives, father, mother. All these things are there in Kali Yuga so much, and it's a normal news here there that happens, and they are killing. And I don't want to discuss also the killing, but this is there. You all know, and in the course of time, it came to pass that people in general become accustomed to greed, anger, pride, etc. Marriage observed all the moments spoke as follows to with anger. Such a pious king as Maharaj at once became perturbed when there was such inhuman symptoms of as greed, anger, irreligiosity, and hypocrisy rampant in society. It appears that from the statement that all the symptoms of degraded society were unknown to people of that time, and it is astonishing for them to have experienced them with the advent of the Kali Yuga or the age of quarrel. Oh, we cannot even imagine how it will be without all these things. It looks like quite impossible to imagine. Of course, even Max Muller, when he comes and he studied India, he made this statement: there was no dishonest person, there was no beggar, there was no poor person. I traveled across the India, and it happens like that. Now, and no need to worry so much. We have to go to spiritual world. We cannot be here in material world. There is no hope in this material world. It's our mistake. We are here. Don't try to change the world. We just have to change ourselves and get out of this place. So that is the only thing we can do. Otherwise, people, they are completely unhappy and they think their happiness is in uh, uh, exploiting. That's why all these things happen. So anyway, we cannot do much here. This is good. We are born at this time. Otherwise, Prabhupada is there and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there and they are helping us to get out. Yudhishthiro vacha samprishto dvarakayam Vishnurbanduti dikshaya yatum cha punyashlokasya krishnasya vicheshika. Now Maharaj Yudhishthira said to his younger brother Bhimasena, I sent Arjuna to Dwarka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of Godhead. Krishna of his program of work. Since he departed, 7 months have passed, yet he has not returned. I do not know actually how things are going there. Is the Lord going to quit his earthly pastimes as Devarshi Nardi indicated? Has the time already arrived? So this is some shlokas about why Krishna appeared uh, and about the uh, time. So all the above statements of Lord appear to different planetary positions of the Lord, namely his expansions such as Sankarshan, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, and Narayana. They are all he himself in different transcendental expansions. Still, Lord Sri Krishna functions different sphere of transcendental exchange with different grades of devotees. Uh, in a day of Brahma, how many times Krishna comes, and all these things is there. And then about how he appears through his Yoga Maya and Virat Rupa is also different. So all these things, this is simple purpose. Please do as homework. and and then I'll read for further. For him only all our kingly opulence, our kingdom, good wife, life, progeny, control over our subjects, victory over enemies, and future accommodation in higher planets have become possible. All this is due to his causeless mercy. Now, this is a nice purpose. Material prosperity consists of a good wife, good house, sufficient land, good children, aristocratic family, relatives, relations, victory over competitors, and by pious work, attainment of accommodation in the higher celestial planet for better facilities of material amenities. Now, there is no material prosperity only. People, they are not having good wife. If they have a good home, sufficient land is anyway not there for many people. They have good children. I don't know. If they are not devotees, then how much good we cannot take. So many things people don't have nowadays, really. These facilities are earned not by, see, this is very important. These facilities are earned not only by one's hard manual labor or by unfair means, but by the mercy of Supreme Lord. This is the point. Only Lord gives, then only you'll have. Pro- Prosperity earned by one's personal endeavor also depends on Lord's mercy. Personal labor must be there in addition to Lord's benediction. But without Lord's benediction, no one is successful simply by personal labor. The modernized man of Kali Yuga believes in personal endeavor and denies the benediction of Supreme Lord. Even a great sannyasi of India delivered speeches in Chicago protesting the benedictions of the Supreme Lord. This is proper talking Vivekananda. But as far as Vedic Shastras are concerned, as we find in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate sanction of all success rests in the hands of Supreme Lord. This is the most important. Maharaj used to admit this truth in his personal success, and it behooves one to follow in the footsteps of such a great king and devotee of the Lord to make life a full success. If one could achieve success without the sanction of Lord, then no medical practitioner would fail in to cure a disease. Balasya Sharanopitarunasim. Despite the most advanced treatment of a suffering patient by the most up-to-date medical practitioner, there is death. Even in the most hopeless cases, without medical treatment, a patient is cured astonishingly. We have Therefore, the conclusion is that God's sanction is the immediate cause of all happenings, good or bad. Any successful man should feel grateful to the Lord for all he has achieved. This is the conclusion. So please remember conclusions which Prabhupada is giving. The conclusion is that God's sanction is the immediate cause of all happenings, uh, good or bad. We should be grateful. That's all. So from here onwards, he will start telling about the symptoms. Just see, oh man of the tiger. So previously he told about the symptoms about people, how people are greedy, how people are fighting, and there is a fighting among wife and husband also. I was thinking, what is it is so common, nobody minds only nowadays. Previously it was not unheard about. How can wife and husband fight? Now they say how they cannot not fight. Just see, I know most of the men's time goes in pursuing wife, and wife time goes in, and so everybody wastes their time in fighting only. You have to persuade. They have to persuade each other and persuade children. So much time goes really in all these matters. Kali Yuga, one of the symptoms. People have good time pass. And another important thing, what happens is person gets attached to that conditioning also. Like if he's having a fight between wife and husband, now husband get used to such situation. If is attached to always fighting only, he becomes conditioned to that fighting. He becomes conditioned to that shouting. And if it does not happen, he becomes very unhappy. So he says, Array, you have a very hard wife, better leave your house and no, take sannyas, be peaceful. He says, no, not possible. Now he's conditioned. He has to be there at house in five should fight and he should also fight, hear the shouting. He cannot leave the house, even though it is so horrible. That is how Maya is. People become conditioned to the hellish conditions. It is in one way hell, but he got conditioned to it. So he don't want to leave the hell also. He says, no, no, my wife is okay for me. So this is the problem of Kali Yuga. They fight, but they cannot leave. Of course, we may say, oh, it is they have love and all. But more than love, sometimes it is conditioning also. So you can say that also they are conditioned. They may say, oh, they have so much love. In the metal world, actually there is no love. It is all it is all exploitation only. Just see, oh man, with a tiger strength, how many misses there is due to celestial influence, earthly. Actually, please don't mind. I am just making some statements, of course. I'm just telling what is in the scriptures. I don't want to be harsh, but I'm just telling because you're all close group, so you'll not mind whatever I'm telling. Of course, it will be politically wrong, whatever statements I'm making sometimes, but because you're all very serious devotees, so you'll not mind hearing from scriptures. Please forgive. So it says three reactions and bodily pain are very dangerous in themselves. Are for uh, foreboding dangers in the near future by deluding our intelligence. Purports, all purports are so nice. Any number of times you read, now you get new points to understand. Purpose writing, material advancement of civilization means advancement of the reactions of the threefold miseries due to the celestial influence, earthly reactions, and bodily or mental pains. See, this is what is material advancement. If you want to know the definition of mental advancement according to Prabhupada, advancement of reactions of the threefold miseries. That means we are increasing our reactions from the celestial influence. That means our weather will never suit us. Earthly reactions. That means earth also gives reaction in terms of food, water, and other things. And bodily and mental pains. By the celestial influence of stars, there are many calamities like excessive heat, cold, rain, or lack of rain, and after effects are famine, disease, and epidemics. The aggregate result is agony of body and mind. So these are uh, 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 from the reactions from the celestial influence, and after that, famine, disease, and epidemics. These are three reactions, and because of its agony in body and mind, man-made material science cannot do anything to counteract these threefold miseries. They are all punishments from the superior energy of Maya under the direction of Supreme Lord. Therefore, our constant touch with the Lord by devotional service can give us relief, so we will not be disturbed in the discharge of our human duties. So this is the very important point. What is Prabhupada concluding? Therefore, our constant touch with Lord by devotional service. So morning before going to office or before doing your duty, if you complete our chanting, you become immune to all these things. We get relief so that we're not disturbed in discharge. Asuras, however, who do not believe in the existence of God make their own plans to counteract all these threefold miseries. We should not counteract. See, this is Asuric mentality. We should do devotional service. And so they meet the failure every time. Even if you try to change the government also, you'll fail. You should do devotional service. So Bhagavad Gita clearly states that reactions of material energy is never to be conquered because of the binding effects of the three modes. They can simply be overcome by one who surrenders fully in devotional under the lotus feet of the Lord. So the formula is very simple. Don't try to contract, just serve, just be a devotee. So this is a very important point. And we'll just read few. My left thigh, arm, eyes are all quivering again and again. I am having heart palpitation due to fear. All this indicate undesirable happening. Vital axis is full of undesirable things we do not want are forced upon us by some superior energy. See, very, very nicely Prabhupada explains. Prabhupada is very, very kind. And we do not see that these undesirables are under the grip of three modes of material nature. When a man's left eye, arm, and thigh all quiver constantly, one must know that something is going to happen, which is undesirable. These undesirables are compared to fire in a forest. No one goes into the forest to set fire, but fire automatically takes place in the forest, creating inconceivable calamities, inconceivable calamities for the living beings of the forest. Such a fire cannot be extinguished by any human efforts. The fire can be extinguished only by mercy of the Lord, who sends clouds to pour water on the forest. So, these problems which are coming in our life cannot be contracted with our endeavor. How? The fire is extinguished only by the mercy of Lord who sends pour. Similarly, undesirable happenings in our life cannot be checked by any number of plans. Such miseries can be removed only by the mercy of Lord. So if any problem comes, what we have to do? Sit and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sit and read Bhagavatam. Sit and hear Bhagavatam. Such miseries can be removed only by the mercy of Lord, who sends his bona fide representative to enlighten human being and thus save them from all calamities. Sansara Dava, Nalalita Loka. Just see, O Bhima, how the she jackal cries at the rising sun and vomits fire, and how does dogs bark at me fearlessly. There are some bad omens indicating something undesirable in the near future. O Bhimsena, tiger amendment. Now useful animals like cow are passing me on my left side, and lower animals like ass are circumambulating me. My horses appear to weep upon seeing me. Just see, the pigeon is like a messenger of death. The circles of owls and their rival crows make my heart tremble. It appears that they want to make a void of the whole universe. These crows are, no, they are the number of crows increase. In Kali Yuga, the birds you find is the crows. Other in the cities, only crows and pigeons are seen. No much animals. Even sparrows also don't have place to keep their nest. So this is very tragic situation. So they are all inauspicious animals. This is how the smokes encircles the sky. It appears the earth and mountains are throbbing. Just hear the clouds thundering and see the bolts from the blue blur. The wind blow violently, blasting dust everywhere and creating darkness. Clouds are raining everywhere with bloody disasters. Just see how the rays of sun are declining and the stars appear to be frightening among themselves. Confusing living entities appear to be ablaze and weeping. Rivers, tributaries, ponds, rivers are all perturbed. Butter no longer ignites fire. What is this extraordinary time? What is going to happen? So the cows do not suck the teats of the cows, now do the cows give milk. They are standing with tears, facing tearful faces, crying, and bulls take no pleasure in the pasturing ground. So these are now common. Cows don't give milk much. Now everything is okay. The deities seem to be crying in the temple, lamenting and perspiring. You see, uh, about to leave all the cities, villages, towns, gardens, mines, and inventories are now devoid of beauty and bereft of all happiness. I do not know what sort of calamities are now awaiting us. So I just wanted to complete the half of the chapter. I'll just take two more verses, then 44 verses, 22 today, 22 tomorrow. I will give some important points tomorrow. There are some nice things I wanted to share tomorrow. I think that all these earthly disturbances indicate some great loss to the good future of the world. The world was fortunate to have been marked with the footprints of Lord's lotus feet of the Lord. These signs indicate that this will no longer be Brahmana Saunaka. While Maharaj Yudhishthira observed these inauspicious signs on that at the time, thus thinking of to himself, Arjuna came back to the of city of the Yudhishthira. So when he bowed at the feet of king, saw that his dejection was unprecedented. His face was downcast and tears glided from his lotus feet. Seeing Arjuna pale due to heartfelt anxiety, the king remembered the indications of sage Narada, questioned him in the midst of his friends. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, comments before we end? So please, tomorrow I'll share some important points, and of course I have to share about Gundicha also. I'll try to see. And this week I'll try to share some, and we have many topics to discuss in between also. So, Hare